Welcome to our channel, Maranatha Global TV. Today, we're diving into the dangers of reduced purchasing power in underdeveloped economies. Reduced purchasing power is a silent assassin, slowly choking the economic life out of developing nations. Let's do this. When purchasing power plummets, it's like someone just hit the down button on an economic elevator. People who were barely scraping by before are suddenly finding themselves priced out of essential goods and services. This downward spiral drags entire communities down with it, widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots. We're talking social unrest, political instability, and a whole buffet of problems. When people have less money to spend, demand for goods and services takes a nosedive. Businesses start to sputter and cough, forced to make tough choices, lay off workers, cut back on production, or shut down entirely. Imagine that happening across an entire economy. Investment dries up, unemployment skyrockets, and the whole economic engine grinds to a halt. We're talking recession, stagnation, and a whole lot of economic misery. Imagine a house with cracks in the foundation, leaky pipes, and a roof held together with duct tape. That's what happens when an economy is starved of investment due to reduced purchasing power. Essential sectors like healthcare, education, and infrastructure start to crumble. It's a vicious cycle of decline, where reduced purchasing power leads to underinvestment, further weakening the economy. When people are struggling to put food on the table, afford basic health care, or send their kids to school, they're going to be disgruntled. Economic hardship is a breeding ground for social unrest, protests, strikes, riots. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and when your economy is circling the drain, desperate times are pretty much a given. Reduced purchasing power starts chipping away at healthcare and education. When people can't afford medical treatment, preventable diseases spread like wildfire. Children miss school because their parents can't afford the fees, perpetuating the cycle of poverty. It's a cruel irony. The very things that could help lift people out of poverty become inaccessible because of poverty. Imagine a house of cards, precariously balanced, vulnerable to the slightest breeze. Underdeveloped economies with reduced purchasing power look like this when faced with economic shocks. With limited resources and a population already struggling, these economies lack the resilience to weather the storm. Foreign aid can be a lifeline in times of crisis, but when an economy becomes overly reliant on it, it's hardly a sustainable solution. This dependence can create a vicious cycle. Reduced purchasing power leads to a greater need for aid, which can then lead to a decrease in domestic investment and economic self-sufficiency. It's like trying to learn to ride a bike by always having someone hold on to the back of your seat. Small businesses, the backbone of any economy, are often hit the hardest by reduced purchasing power. These businesses rely on a steady stream of customers to survive. When those customers disappear, so do the businesses, taking jobs and economic diversity with them. Imagine a country's brightest minds, its doctors, engineers, and entrepreneurs, packing their bags and heading for greener pastures. This brain drain is a devastating consequence of reduced purchasing power. You're left with a depleted talent pool, struggling to compete on the global stage. When survival is on the line, environmental concerns often take a back seat. Reduced purchasing power can drive people to desperate measures just to make ends meet. It's a vicious cycle where short-term survival comes at the cost of long-term sustainability. So, there you have it. The grim reality of reduced purchasing power in underdeveloped economies. But this isn't a time for despair. It's a time for action. We need to shine a light on this crucial issue, raise awareness, and work towards solutions. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.